Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demo here in the UK, and today I'm going to bring you the video for this box, which I posted on my blog a couple of days ago. Actually nearly a week ago, I think, by the time this video goes out. And it's a little box that contains some Easter eggs. Got quite a few little Easter eggs in there. These are actually Galaxy caramel eggs. I wanted ones with gold foil really to sit in there, but I do all my food shopping online at the minute because in the UK I'm still considered vulnerable to the COVID virus. So I ordered these thinking they were going to be in gold, and they're actually in yellow, and it's not quite the right yellow, but hey ho, they will be fine. I'm sure whoever I decide to gift this to won't mind too much. I've decorated my box with the True Love papers, the black and white papers, and the Pretty Perennials bundle. Just made it really pretty. I made a little ribbon handle to pull it in and out. They're very sturdy, these boxes, and we're going to start off by having a look at these boxes. They actually come, this is one of them made up without being decorated. They're called True Love. I think they're just called True Love boxes. True Love Always Treat boxes. And there's 10 in a pack. You can make 10 of these, so you get 10 of the box. So it's like a matchbox really. So 10 of the base and 10 of the wrap that goes around them. And they come flat packed like this. And so you need one of the wraps and one of the bases. And so this is all cut and scored ready for you. So I know that as paper crafters we can do these ourselves, but this is a really quick and easy way to make boxes. And like I say, these end up being really sturdy. This is really thick. This is not just our thick whisper basic white cardstock. This is really thick. If you want a nice sturdy box, this is the way to go, I think. You could always take the template and make one of your own. You'd need 12 by 12. I'm just going to see if that would actually fit onto 12 by 12. Yep, fits that way. Does it fit this way? Just about, just a smidgen, yeah. So you could use this as a template and make your own template to cut out of card, but I'm quite happy. I don't think they were extortionately expensive, and they make my life so much easier. And like I said, it's a really nice sturdy box. If you've got something quite heavy that you want to put in it, which my chocolate eggs are surprisingly heavy actually, you can use these boxes. So I'm just burnishing all the score lines. So they are all scored, but I'm just burnishing them, which is going to make it much easier when you come to put it together. If you've burnished all your folds, and it doesn't really matter which way round you burnish, because you can just fold them the other way when you come to put the box together. And the way it comes together is that you take these two sets of tabs. I'm just going to bend that one over that way so it's not in our way. And then this piece comes over here, presses down, and then you get that little tab at the bottom. I'm trying to angle it so that you can see. So that fits down at the bottom there. It's popping up at the minute, but it will stay down. I could just give that an extra little burnish to help it. But it will stay down in a minute. We'll see when I finish the box. And this one does the same, and that tucks in there. And then this, the shorter piece, so we've done the sides. Need about 100 hands. The shorter side goes down like this. Now that's going to hold those side pieces in place. So now we're getting there. So you do the shorter piece first, and then you've got this long piece. And when it first came, I thought, what on earth am I meant to do with this? The idea is that bends that way, makes the wall of the box, and then that fits in, and there's a little slot down there. I don't know if you can see that clips into. And now that's not going anywhere. That's really sturdy, really sturdy. And that's perfect. And then all you need to do is take the wrap, and again I am just going to burnish, and that just slips over them. So like I say, they're like a giant a matchbox really. Isn't that perfect? Absolutely great. Right, okay, so we're starting off with our box. We're going to cover it we're using the True Love papers, as I said. I've got them all here. They're black and white papers. This is all I've got left of my pack. All black and white. I don't know why they're called True Love. Are they called True Love? Yeah. I don't know quite why. They've got no hearts. They're just flowers and black and white designs. These flowers are great for colouring, either with watercolour pencils or our blends or whatever you like. Just so lovely with our blender brushes. So great. And you've got lots of floral patterns there. And then lots of sort of geometric black and white designs. So absolutely great. We're going to use so I used this piece on my box before, this with the little diamonds, but today we're going to use a different piece, which is this one here. So I thought that would make a nice background. Now I've measured this before and I've already forgotten. It is 10.5. So I need a strip that is 10.5 centimetres. So just bring in my trimmer. So 10.5 centimetres, line that up carefully. Get rid of my scoring blade and cut. And now instead of measuring the size of the boxes, what I did was I placed this on my box, trying to make sure it was straight, and then I wrapped it round. And I've just made a crease with my fingers as I went round so that I could see where the creases need to go. So I found this. Now, of course, you could measure the sides if you wanted to be a bit more accurate. I found this was I'm always looking for quick ways to craft. And although it's my favourite activity, I do get a bit bored. So I needed to do it so that it was as quick as possible. Right, I'm going to trim that off. Just going to just do a little tick. I'm going to trim that off there. So I'm just going to cut up there. I'm not going to do this with the trimmer. It doesn't really matter whether it's straight because it's going to be tucked under. There we go. And then I'm just going to go back and I'm going to burnish those where I've crease them gently with my fingers. I'm just going to burnish them so that they are really, really crisp. And of course you can cover this box with any papers that you like. You know, they make lovely Christmas treat boxes. Weddings, you could do them for children's birthday parties, whatever you like. You could cover them with whatever you like. So let's give that a try now that we've done the corners nice and sharp. There we go. Perfect, and that fits exactly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of Tombow on there and glue that down. So actually I've had my Tombow sitting there and now I want to use the other end. I don't know whether it's going to come out. I really want to use the spready end. There we go, came out quite quickly. There we go. So you could use double-sided tape to do this. You could use a tape runner. I quite like the Tombow, as you know, because it does give me a bit of wiggle room. So if I don't place it quite correctly onto the box straight away, I'll get a little bit of wiggle room to move it around a bit. The only thing is it can be a little bit messy now you've got the Tombow on there. Don't think there's very much glue left in this Tombow actually. I've been using them up, those of you who have been watching me, and this one has been working quite well, but I think we might nearly be at the end of it now. Have actually managed to clear some of these out of my drawer now. Right, okay, so I'm going to try and place this very carefully onto my box. Make sure I've got it in position. If you put it down on a hard surface and slide it down, you'll know that it's going to be flush at the bottom there. And then just wrap around like that. And there we go. We have a covered box. Now you might find that you've got a tiny, tiny overlap at the edges. So what I would do with that, if you're really worried about that, is just trim that off with your snips. So you can just lean the blade of your snips against the box so that you get a really, really, again, a really flush edge. if that annoys you. You could actually cut your paper. This is about 1 millimetre, I think, so you could just cut your paper a smidgen smaller if you wanted it to fit exactly. There we go, and I think the other end should be okay because it's just a little bit. We did push this one down, so it should be tiny little bit of overhang here. So I'm only doing this because I am really pernickety. It wouldn't matter at all if you left these edges. I don't think anybody would notice or mind, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to crafting, so I quite like things to be very flush. Right, there we go. So that is essentially, I've got bits of paper stuck to me. That's essentially your box ready to be decorated. Now, to decorate it, we're going to need to do some die cutting. We do some stamping first. So I've got a little piece of Whisper White here, and we need to stamp first of all 2 of these 4-petal flowers and 1 of this 6-petal flower. So my stamp set is here. It's the Pretty Perennials again. I'm sure you're getting sick of me using this stamp set. I love it. This is not going to be going anywhere. Where did that come from? That's not from here. That's an Easter egg from somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to be using it long after this is retired from the catalogue. So we're using this one and this one. So I'm going to take this one and pop that on C block. It just about fits. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but it does just about fit on a C block. And then the other one hopefully will fit on a B block. It's great having all the right size blocks, but if you've only got one, choose a bigger one so that your bigger stamps will fit, and you can always put your little ones on it too. I think if I was starting again, I'd have a D block. I think this is a D. I'd have a D, but I would always also splurge and have a little one, because I think with tiny stamps it's a lot easier to have a little tiny one to put those on. So those are the 2 I'd recommend to start with, and then the other sizes can come in as and when you can afford it. Right, okay, so we're going to go with a slightly different colour scheme this time. I'm going to use Calypso Coral. Having a bit of a Calypso Coral phase at the minute. It's not a colour I've ever used much in the past, but I just seem to keep picking it up at the moment. It goes like that. So I'm going to ink that up, stamp that, and that's our big flower. Oh, that hasn't stamped very well. Oh, okay. Let's try that again. That's better. Needed a bit more oomph. And then I need 2 of the little 4-petal flowers. With Daisy Delight. No, Daffodil Delight. Not Daisy Delight. I've got daisies on the brain. There we go. So this is going to be a sort of orangey yellow colour scheme. This one was pinky yellow. So there we go. So that's all the stamping we need to do. And now we need to do some die cutting. So I'm just going to move my grid paper out of the way, because my machine will move that around and make it really difficult. There we go. Oh, it doesn't want to go at the minute. Hang on a sec. Oh, now I've ripped it. Hey ho. Best laid plans, hey? There we go. Right, okay, so where's my die cutter? Hiding behind here. Don't even have to get up to get it though, because it's such a small footprint it can now fit on my shelf behind me. My big shot I had to keep on a shelf outside, on a table outside, because it wouldn't fit. But now that I've got the Stampin' Up one, it's in my room, so I don't have to keep getting up quite so much as I did. Right, okay, so what are we going to die cut? First we're going to die cut these shapes. So, and oh, now these dies, you do need to try and make sure you get them in the position correctly. Yeah, you need to just keep moving it around until it kind of fits where you're trying to get it to fit. That kind of looks okay. I'm not sure that's right though. There we go. I'm sure there's a trick to this, and I'm sure I knew it. There we go. That's it. Yep. So if you just keep moving it around, you'll find that it will look better. eventually when you get to one place. I'm just taking a little bit of washi tape. Sadly, no washi tape in the catalogue anymore. I use it all the time for die cutting. And then the other one, this little one, don't think it's quite as essential here that it fits exactly, but even so I will try and get it, and I think that's right. Hope you can see this. Am I far enough onto camera? There we go. And another little bit of washi tape. There we go. And shoot that through. Those are all the stamped images we need. And now we just need some that are just die cut. Oh no, not all the stamped image. We've got to do the other one. Got to do the second little flower. So just remove that carefully. Remove that carefully as well. We just need to do this other little flower. Oh, getting stuck to the washi tape. There we go. I decided to do all the die cutting on camera for today. I quite often die cut before I come on camera, but I did just want to show you how wonderful this machine is. So I thought I would just do a little demonstration as I work. Right, there we go. That's all the stamped images that we needed. And then we need the leaves out of Granny Apple Green. So here's our leaf. Spray, our branch of leaves. And we then need one of the outline of the big flower, and I'm going to do that in Calypso Coral, so it'll be the same colour as the flowers. And then I need two for the little flower of the middle of those. So there. And then what we're also going to need is some little flower centres to go in the middle of the flowers. So I'm going to do one out of Mango Melody for the moment. Right, that can all go through together. I'm not washi taping these because it doesn't matter if they move slightly. They're not lining up to any stamped images or anything, so it won't matter if they move. You can see how well they all cut. There's hardly any pressure needed at all, and they all cut really well. So there's my leaves. There's my outline of one flower, the middle of one flower, the outline of the big flower, and then I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to go along with the ruler just to loosen all those bits and put them all in the bin. Hopefully not over my floor. Right, okay, now we need two more little flower centres in Calypso Coral, and then we're done with all the die cutting, I hope. So quickly whiz that through. And oh, did we need another? We need another one of these as well, don't we? You're all yelling. I bet you're all yelling at the camera. You need another little outline for the little flower. Of course, I can't hear you on here. There we go. I was just testing you. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. There we go. There. Right, okay. There we go. And there we are. That's all done. I don't want to lose that little die. Put that away carefully. Right, I'm hoping now we've got all the bits we need, so I can get rid of my die cutter off my desk. Come back with my grid paper. Try and line that up again so that it's, there we go. Right, okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to take our big flower first of all. Did I put this on dimensionals? Yes, I think I did put it on a dimensional. Just checking. There we go. I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to curl the petals up a little bit, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm just going to put it on one dimensional, one big dimensional, one of our regular dimensionals. I can find them. There we go. There we go. Like so. And that's going to go... Oh, that's quite a nice colour, isn't it? Where does it need to go? Right there. And then I'm going to take the outline. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. Must be nearly dinner time. And just dab a little bit of glue on the centre of this. If any wants to come out, there we go. Just put that in there. So it's tone on tone there, card onto stamping, but it just gives it a bit of texture. And then a tiny little bit of Tombow on the centre for that flower. Just enough to let it stick. Oh, I'm not doing very well here. Too much. There we go. That's going to go in the middle. I'm going to add something else to that in a minute that I didn't do on my other ones. Right, the two little flowers, or smaller flowers, shall I say. Just carefully. Now you've got a little bit of room under here because the other one is raised up on dimensionals, so you've got a little bit of room for that to just slip underneath wherever you want it. Just put it down, and then again, oh no, let's do the outline first. Again, a little bit of dimension with your bone folder, just very gently curling. Paper is a wonderful product because it has a memory. So when you bend it, it keeps that position. Absolutely gorgeous. Just pop that in there. Oops, it's got a mind of its own, this bit. I had to tuck under there. There we go. And then a centre in Calypso Coral. So I wonder if any of you will be making any of these little boxes for Easter. I think they're really quite sweet. Very nice little boxes if you've got anybody that deserves a little Easter gift. My children are now 27, 25 and 23, and we were all on Zoom the other day and we had a discussion about Easter eggs, and I've always bought them an Easter egg every Easter, but of course that was when I was seeing them at Easter, and now that this year, because once again I can't see them, I was wondering whether they might be able to do without an Easter egg, because they're quite grown up. But oh no, they still need an Easter egg from their mum apparently. So my youngest one used to get very excited about Easter. We had to do Easter egg hunts in the garden long after she was too old to do. I think when she was about 13 or 14, we were still doing Easter egg hunts in the garden. I kind of miss it now. I missed seeing them all so much this year that I think, what I'd give to have them back and doing Easter egg hunts this Easter. But it's not to be. Might actually be able to see them. The rules are meant to be changing in England just before Easter, so that outside you can meet up. So it is possible that we could go over to see one of them. They're in different directions, unfortunately, so I can't see all three of them, but we might be able to fit a visit to one of them in. Right, I'm going to cut these leaves off the branch like so, and then just try and arrange them wherever they want to go. So maybe one there, They're not going to show up as well on this pattern paper because they're outline leaves. They're not going to show up as well on this busy pattern as they did on the plainer pattern I did on the other box. But that's fine. They will just add another something to it, I think. There we go. And then this one is going to go there. And then if there's not room for the third one, you don't actually have to add the third one if you don't want to. And could go there. What do you think? Does that add something or not? Yeah, I think I will add it. I just like odd numbers, really. And then we're going to add a ribbon handle onto my box. And I'm going to use a retired product to do it. I don't know, some of you will already have a tiny hole punch in your stash. If you don't, you could just force your scissors through or a pokey tool to make a hole. But I am going to use my handheld 1/8 of an inch punch. Oh, it's upside down. There we go. And I'm going to mark roughly where I want it to go with a pencil. So is that about even? Let's just measure. Is that about mid? So it's just less than 7 across. Let's push that down. About 7 across, and yeah, just slightly over a little bit there. That wasn't bad for a guess, was it, for centre? And then I'm just going to take this off and punch. And my handheld punch does go through. Some of them aren't quite as strong as that because there's 2 layers of quite thick cardstock there. And then we just need to take a little bit of ribbon, and because we've used Calypso Coral, I'm using Calypso Coral. This is the Ornate Garden ribbon combo, so this was the old olive one that I was using. This is the Calypso Coral. So I'm going to take a length of ribbon. You need enough that you can tie a knot, and so you want to take, so we're going to trim these ends off, so it's a bit of a waste of ribbon, but I don't know how else you can do it and still get the effect. So there we go. So just trim those ends off, and then that pops through this hole from the back like so, and that gives you quite a nice little handle to open your box. There, just got a mark on it there. Right, okay. And then the last thing that we need to do, oh no, one before the last thing, I'm actually going to add, I just thought some of these black matte black dots might look quite nice. So I'm just going to add a matte black dot in the middle of that one, and the smaller ones, oh, don't know where that went, pinged off somewhere. I'll find that stuck to something one day, and I don't know if that just brings them to life a little bit. Matches the black, quite like that. And then we just need a little little banner sentiment, which is made with the banner punch, of course. So take another little piece of Whisper White. I'm going to trim this. Just trim that off. I've got a crease in it here, which I'm going to trim off. So I'm just using scraps up here, so that, and then I'm going to trim this to 1 inch. So I know that this is 1 inch. 2 ways you can do this. You can either stamp and then punch, which is what I'm going to do, or you could punch and then stamp and try and centre it properly. Right, okay, so I've got my Happy Easter stamp here from Arrange a Wreath, one of my favourite stamp sets. I'm really dreading that it's going to retire from the catalogue, and I'll be so sad to see it go because it's been so useful. Of course, if you're a demo, you tend to be sad about things going because we need to be demonstrating new things. So That's why we get so disappointed when things retire. If you're a customer, there's no need to be disappointed about it, because of course you can carry on using them forever. Right, okay. I'm just gonna pop that in and punch, but that's probably not where I want it to be. So I'm going to take the end that I punched off, line it up where I think I want the banner to go, mark that with a pencil, trim that off, and then punch again. And that should mean that I've got the right size label. And then I just need to trim it off a little bit here. And then that is just going on there, like so. A little bit of Tombow. And we are done. So I hope you've enjoyed that project today. I really love doing this. As you'll know if you've followed me for a while, I'm much more a cards girl than a box and bags and 3D items girl. But I do occasionally, and especially for all these special occasions, so Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Valentine's, I do like making 3D projects because I think that's a good excuse to give someone a little treat. All of these will be going. I now need to buy some more eggs to go in here, but I can't buy them too much before Easter, otherwise I will eat them. So those are my two boxes, the pink one and the Calypso Coral one. This one with the black dots, this one without. Don't know which one you prefer, but I hope you like either one of them or both. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm so close to meeting my 5,000 target of subscribers. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate you clicking the subscribe button underneath this video. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, which would be really great. But anyway, I will be back very soon with another video. I hope you've enjoyed today's. Hope it might inspire you to do something yourself. And I will see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.